Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has rejected the proposed increment of electricity tariff in the country. His reaction comes barely a week after the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, announced a review of electricity tariffs across the country, but said it will not begin the process immediately. The Speaker said in a series of tweets that there is no guarantee that after any electricity tariff hike that the DISCOs will not continue with the nefarious practice of bill estimation or provide uninterrupted power supply. His second tweet says, "I believe the National Assembly should ensure that any increase in electricity tariff, if at all, should be cost-reflective and not just a whimsical increase with no numerical basis." Lastly, he said that any such increase should only be made after the proposed amendment to the law criminalizing estimated billing and is signed into law. I intend to meet and discuss this sequence and other conditions with the Attorney General of the Federation and other relevant authorities. He believes that the right time to increase electricity rates is when the proposed amendment to the Act criminalizing estimated billing is signed into law. Residents of Bauchi State have begun to enjoy the benefits of good roads as some of the projects embarked upon by the state government have been completed, while others are at the advanced stage. Now, also due for completion are some of segments of the $65 million water project expected to supply water to some parts of the metropolis. Our correspondent, Hajara Liu, tells us more.
This newly completed 2-kilometer stretch of road now gives commuters on Yakubu Bauchi Quarters Road easy access to the express and other communities. Construction of the new driveway commenced 5 months ago alongside the 6.2-kilometer Sabon-Kaura-Jos Road, which has also progressed at 40%.
And we are appreciative of the gesture. We least suspected this to happen during our time here, but it is God has given us the person with the passions and the zeals for the development of the state, and he has considered it.
Also completed is the hospital road in Azari, while other projects in the axis are nearing finishing points.
The joy is that this job was awarded and the issue of abandonment will never come in. We'll make sure that they are completed and delivered as agreed between the government and the contractors.
Here is a World Bank assisted water project, a 7,000 cubic meters water reservoir under construction, due for completion mid this year. The Nigeria Union of Journalists take a tour around some of these projects to inspect the progress made so far.
Opportunity you've given
and then follows up with a courtesy visit to the government house.
The progress has been fantastic. And the good thing about this is that since this work started, it has not stopped. Because with the prudence of the governor, he was able to advance enough money to the contractors. He was able to save and advance enough money to the contractors so that as soon as they start their work, they will not stop.
With more road projects embarked upon by the government, there is no doubt that social and economic activities will receive a boost in the state. Hajira Aliyu, Channels Television News.
Let's find out what's happening in the business world. Bisi is here to tell us.
Welcome to Business News. Listed telecoms giant MTN Nigeria says the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation has withdrawn its demand for the payment of $2 billion over alleged revenue indebtedness. In a statement sent to the Nigerian Stock Exchange today, the company says the AGF has instead decided to refer the matter to the Federal Inland Revenue Service and the Customs with a view to resolving contentious issues. Meanwhile, the mobile telecoms operator has commended the latest development on the matter and plans to follow due court process to withdraw its legal action against the AGF, the FIRS and the Customs Service. Last year, Nigeria's Attorney General, Justice Abubakar Malami, asked the MTN to pay $1.28 billion and 242.24 million naira in taxes relating to the importation of foreign equipment and payments to foreign suppliers since 2008. The Acting Director General of the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority, Mr. Bitrus Dawok, is calling for the amendment of the Act establishing the authority. The proposed amendment, according to him, remains critical to the federal government's drive towards industrialization and self-sufficiency. At a meeting with journalists in Abuja, he also explains that the act, which was enacted in 1992 to establish NEPSA, will also assist the agency in revenue generation. The Nigerian-British Chamber of Commerce is set to host the business community to its first breakfast meeting for the year themed 2020 Economic Outlook on January the 16th in Lagos. The 2020 Economic Outlook event is expected to provide a platform for stakeholders from diverse sectors of the economy to discuss and analyze likely economic, social and geopolitical trends for 2020 and an opportunity to reflect on the scorecard for last year. The breakfast meeting is also expected to provide an opportunity for key business leaders to engage, foster business relationships, and proffer solutions to projected outcomes in the unfolding year. The chairman of South Africa's struggling state-owned utility, Eskom, Jabu Mabuza, has resigned for failing to hold power cuts over the Christmas and New Year public holidays in the country. The power cuts implemented by Eskom dented economic output last year and sapped investor confidence in Ramaphosa's efforts to turn around Africa's most industrialized economy. Eskom implemented severe nationwide power cuts in several bursts last year and again sporadically this week, despite low electricity demand as many businesses and factories were closed for the holidays. The company supplies more than 90% of the country's power, but repeated faults at its creaking fleet of coal-fired power plants means it struggles to meet electricity demand. Well, let's turn to Nigeria's equities market now, which, despite a slightly mixed performance and a negative price performance margin, maintained positive sentiment for the 7th consecutive session at the close of today's trading. Edidiong Inwang tells us more.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The Nigerian stock market continued its bullish run on Friday as the all-share index ended the last trading day of the week marginally positive by 0.07%, with the equity cap at 15.174 trillion naira. Now, just like in Thursday's session, the industrial goods sector posted the highest gains today, all thanks to the 6.63% increase in the share price of newly listed Boa Cement. On the flip side, insurance, banking and oil and gas sectors recorded losses. Volume, value and deals traded today were lower as 271.9 million shares worth 4.5 billion naira were exchanged in 5,097 deals. On the list of top trades are Access Bank, Zenith Bank and Flour Mill, while these are the top 3 gainers and losers. Well, that's the stock market report for the day and the week. I'm Edidiong Inwang. Back to you, BC.
Thank you, Eddie. Meanwhile, it's negative close for the markets across the United States and Europe as investors react to new sanctions imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump and disappointing jobs data from the world's biggest economy. Here are some of the market figures for today. And that's it on Business News. It's back to Melinda.